and Breann McGregor.
Because just so you know, creativity comes from the lack of. Just so you know, there wouldn't be a light bulb if we didn't need lights. If there wasn't, just so you know, nobody would have thought, hey, the sun comes out in the day, but at night, we need fire. But if the fire hits the wood on the house, it burns it down. Is there another way that we can, this electricity thing, what if we can harness? Like, that sounds crazy, but yo, a peanut butter came from crushed peanuts. Creativity comes from the lack of something. Listen to what I'm saying. Not having something, that's why poor people and people who don't have some, not all the time, but a lot of times, they create some of the most amazing things. The movie about the lady that created the spin mop, the mop that you hold the handle.
Okay, yeah.
She was a house mom. She was mopping and she mopped up glass. She put her hand in and she cut her hand. She was like, what if I didn't have to touch that so I don't cut my hand or get my hands dirty?
Who was in that? I think it was,
I forgot.
Emma Stone.
But think on that. It was the lack of something. So people, I think your best self is, you become your best self by realizing the things you don't have. You're like, it's like, okay,
wow,
because I'm not great at math, I'll be great at reading. It's like, damn, I'm not the best person at math, but because I wasn't that good at math, I overcompensated with reading, and I've read so many books, and now I'm the best writer in the Western Hemisphere, or whatever the case may be. And I think if we look at our so-called defects or handicaps as, okay, now if I don't have this, what can I use to be that? You know what I mean? Like, yo, there's no sunlight in the night, so how do I get lights in my house? And the candle is still a bit dark. What can I do? And that, it's like, and then it went from, okay, we're walking, but horses are kind of slow. What if we can roll? And the wheel wasn't, the lack of is where the greatest minds and the greatest thoughts happen. So if you're like, I may not have all of this and I may not have all of that. Okay, that's what you're lacking. So how do we use what we're lacking to make something beautiful?
Right.
Because that's where most beauty comes from. Not, it's like, the thing about beauty is, your beauty is, and everyone's, think on this, everyone's beauty is unique. Think on seeing a beautiful man or a beautiful woman. You know that their parents had to come together and make those unique features that they have, unless they're a twin, that they have. And now you're like, oh my God, that woman is gorgeous. But yeah, because it's so funny. She's beautiful because of the thing peep this. She has a little bit of her mom and a little bit of her dad. If she had all of her dad, she would be the same thing. If she had all of her mom, she would be that. She is unique and beautiful and attractive because of the bit of her mom she has, the bit of the mom she doesn't have, the bit of the bit of her dad she has, and the bit of her dad that she doesn't have. So when you look at, I notice it's deep and it's crazy and it's weird.
No, I think it's, no, keep going. I love it. Keep going.
Yeah, so I'm like, bro, you're unique for a reason. You're unique for a reason. It's like,
there's not one fingerprint that's the same. Every single fingerprint is completely different. I mean, what you have, your gifts, your talents, the way you speak, the way you look, the way your nose wrinkles, or the way your fingers move. No one else in this entire world can do that. It's just you.
And guess what? If you think on it like that, because what society has made us believe is that you don't have $1 million, so you're not special. You're not famous, so you're not special. You're not on television, you're not special. You're not a politician or a billionaire or an investor or somebody that does, bro, you can just be the family funny guy. You can just be the guy at the family reunions that make everybody in the family laugh. Yeah, not because you're not Kevin Hart doesn't mean you're not special. No, you may not be special. You may not mean as much to the mass amount of people because Kevin Hart has a further reach than you. But meaning something to 5 people, I promise you, is more important than you think. Because if you, especially if you believe in 6 degrees of separation, because it's like this. Go back to my dad. My dad was abandoned as a kid, grew up with his stepmom, was kicked out when he was 16, right? So he wasn't taught from a dad how to be a dad or didn't know what to do. He met my mom. He went to prison for 5 years. He was homeless for 10 years before getting his stuff together. Yo, this man was still there. This man never missed a concert. This man never missed a school play. This man never missed my brother's basketball games. Yo, think on this, bro. And then taught me something that he didn't even know how to do himself. He can't sing. He can't dance. He doesn't know music. He doesn't know anything about notes. He can't play any instruments. And then he raised 2 of the biggest music people from where we're from, and 2 of the biggest people in American pop culture. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? And think on it. But guess what? He didn't write the songs. He's not me. But without him, there's no me.
There'd be no you, and there'd be no your brother. I mean,
there would be no Timothy. There would be no Rock City. There would be no this conversation. So is he not just as important?
Right. Wow.
You know, listen, Kevin Hart mama never told a joke. Kevin Hart said his mama wasn't even that funny. But Kevin Hart mama put something in him to make him work hard. And without Kevin Hart's mom, you wouldn't have Kevin Hart. Without the Wu-Tang Clan's upbringing, you wouldn't have them. Without Elon Musk upbringing, you wouldn't have him.
Right. So it's all of their environments and what their parents have gone through, and then how they've been raised and who have touched their lives have basically impacted every single person that they've met.
The whole world.
Right.
And guess what? So think on this. You may not be the fruit from the tree. That doesn't mean that you can't be the seed. You know what I mean? It's like, and everything is needed for the tree to be a tree. So some of us are mad because we're not the apple. Oh, but the apple, everybody loves the apple. They pick the apple, they eat the apple. The apple is in everyone's house. They love the apple. Nobody talks about the apple seed. Nobody talks about the bark, the apple bark or the apple leaves. And it's like, yeah, but without the bark, the leaves, the seed, and the tree, you can't get the apple. So they're all just as special.
Wow.
And you have to realize that, because if you let society tell you you're not, you'll be walking around here like, I didn't accomplish anything. And it's like,
wow,
yeah, but you did. Like, okay, think on you saying like, yo, Theron, I really felt that you saved my life in something that I take so dear to my heart and I respect it so much. Now, yo, to somebody else, you may not be famous, special, anything, but to me, how I view human beings, I'm like, bro, the world isn't the same without you. You realize it's not the same world anymore. One person, every time somebody's born, it's a new world. Every time somebody passes, a new world. Like, bro, my dad died, it's a new world. Even in my house, like, this is, bro, my oldest kid is 17. They've never met my side of the family. My whole family has been at my house for like 2 weeks straight. My kids love it. I love it. And I know it's a sad situation that this is what brought us together, but it doesn't matter. Our world has changed now. My sons are talking to cousins that they didn't know 5 years ago.
Wow.
They're playing Fortnite and FaceTiming, and they're like, oh, I'm going to ask my dad if I can. I just changed their life. We just made a turn that we wouldn't have made. So every move is important. You are important. Without you, the world isn't the same. And so many people think it's like, I don't mean anything. Bro. Do you know how many people told somebody something that they held on? You know how many people that I've met in my life that told me something that I held on to that made me the man that I am? And it'd be like, yo, it was my boss at Party City. That guy isn't famous. I don't even know where he is. My 8th grade music teacher in Toll Middle School in California. I've been trying to find this man forever. His name is Mr. Gooder. I've been trying to find this man forever. This man basically changed my life. Why? We were island kids. We moved to California. We talked funny. Kids teased us. And that man put Caribbean music in every school play so we can feel comfortable. And guess what? To him, it was just like, this is cool and fun, and I'm getting the kids going. And to me and my brother, it was like, bro, you are saving our lives because we hate it here. And this is the only part of this place that makes us happy. You're the best. He didn't know that.
Wow.
But imagine if
find him. So he was in California, and what school were you at again?
Toll Middle School, class of 1996 in the 8th grade. He doesn't work there anymore. I've been calling over and over. I've been trying to find him.
And what's his name?
Mr. Gooder, like goo. I don't know how you spell it either. Gooder. You know, I was the Mr. Gooder or something like that. And
we're gonna find him.
No, I would love to find him. And the funny part, because in my 8th grade yearbook, it's me, my brother, and a girl named Nina, and over us is most likely to become Grammy winners. And that's in the 8th grade. And I wanted to meet him. I wanted to see him. If I can find this man, I just want to tell him, you don't know what you did for me, bro. And I've won 4 Grammys. You're just a school teacher teaching me jingle bells. But bro, you allowed me to be myself. You allowed my culture to be a part of your thing, and you didn't even realize how you were making me confident enough to be where I am today. You are a part of my journey.
Wow.
But imagine if he felt like none of his students loved him and nobody cared. And it's like, bro, if I didn't meet you, but bro, in the 8th grade, you gave me something that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. I was supposed to be there. No one else could have been my teacher. It had to have been you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without him, it's like you wouldn't be where you're at now. I mean, he's the one, like you said, instilled that confidence.
One. And guess what? He didn't write songs for Rihanna. He didn't win Grammys, but he sparked a mind that did. Is he not just as important as me?
Oh, absolutely. The minds.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what and with you and with what you were going through and how you were feeling, I'm like, bro, do you understand what the world, when people leave this world, whether it be by mistake or by purpose, like, oh, you're old and it's time. The world isn't the same. Not just, I know it seems like it's just your mom. No, bro. Whatever advice and whatever knowledge you have, that it's not the same now. We're going into a new thing, a new aspect, a new lane without you. I'm not saying that without you, it's worse. I'm not saying without you it's better or it's worse, but it's different. It's just not the same.
No, you definitely instilled a lot of things into my life that I just, I still to this day do not know why it was you that I had this immediate energy to, like, I had to call you. It was so bizarre. And I remember when you were like, why me? I don't know anything about academics.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Can you just talk to me? And I swear it was so, like, I literally felt like this, as if I was staring down a hole. I was about to plunge down it, and it was like, just call. And you just were there. Within 2 seconds, I wrote you, and you're like, okay. And I'm like, can you talk? Like, yeah, but like, I don't know nothing about school, and then you were talking to me about it. But it was the most bizarrest thing ever. I'll never forget it. But I left walking away talking to Harash, like, wow. I felt powerful. I felt like I had a bunch of energy, like I had just gassed up and gotten like fuel. Like I was running on a car with no fuel, just trying to keep it going. And it was just about to just die on the interstate. And it was just, I needed that, like, another oomph. And I guess it was like I had to like walk off to go get the gas and bring it back type of thing. I couldn't pull up. And it was like my last chance of like, I don't care. This is where, that's who I could reach out to, because I had made my circle so small, and like Harash is here, my mom's here, but it's just not the same. Like he can tell me something over and over again, but I have to hear it from someone else. And then it's like, whoa. And then he's like, I've been telling you the same damn thing. What, you can't take it from me? And it's like, it's not that. It's just one of these things where.
You know what it is? It's like, it sounds crazy, but it's like your mom telling you you're pretty. It's like my mom saying, Theron, you're so handsome. You're my mother. You're supposed to say that. But if Rihanna said, yo, you are fine as hell, I'd be like, maybe I am. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like,
no, it doesn't.
Your mom, I get it. It's like, yo, you're my husband. You're my mother. You guys love me. You see beauty. You see a beautiful in me that the world will never see. And I'm not talking about inner beauty or how I make you feel. I'm talking about, sometimes you're just talking about, and I'm using beauty as an example, but I'm like, you're just talking about stone shallow, you are good looking, and sometimes and like advice, and sometimes you're like, yo, it's not that you're wrong, it's just, you're supposed to be nice to me, dog. You're my wife. Like with my, it's like, Bear, you're supposed to have my back. You're my wife. But, and I'm supposed to have your back. So sometimes you want somebody to be like, damn, why? You'd be like, damn, bro, my wife told me the same thing. Now with me, I'll go back and be like, yo, I was talking to John and he told me the same thing you told me. She said, you? And she'd be like, hey, you heard, see? I'd be like, no, babe, you was right, because that reassurance lets people know that you're listening, and what they say matter. You know what I mean? And making and letting people know that they matter, especially when they're telling you something is important. But I just always, sometimes I agree with you, because I'm with you. Sometimes you just got to hear it from another person, man.
Yeah, you do. I think too that it's, when you're with someone, I think like you said, it's that unconditional love. So they can tell you a million times. It can take just a random person saying just something so small that person has said. For them, it's been over and over again because they see you every single day. But this random person's like so-and-so, and you're like, and it's like, ding. And they're just like, I've been telling you that, and you're just like, dude, I get it. But like, it just didn't hit me the right way, and then it hit
the right way. Exactly.
Right. And so, but I needed to hear it. And I know I can say Harash was like, dude, you were in there for, I don't know how long. You feeling all right? I'm like, wow. Like, I felt like I walked out of the room like, like there's this light of like, I've got this. And, it's crazy. I ended up not going forward with school. Because like the day school started, everything, some stuff came up and it just didn't happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let them. I wanted to go to school to get structure in my life. but I'm not going to allow the school to depict if I have structure or not. So just because of it being contaminated this year, I'm going to create that structure myself. Screw you.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
And who determines what the fuck structure is? Yo, chances are we're just trying to live in a society who's made rules for us that they break constantly.
Right.
You know, I always tell people
it's like but the structure is in the sense of me being displaced at the moment. So being away from our home, over 2,000 miles away at my mother's house, and there's nothing here that's really normal for us. I mean, this is my grandmother's stuff. This is my great-grandparents' bed. I mean, if this is
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, Harash is sleeping in the room across from me. I mean, these are like Valentine cards from 1940s, 20s. I mean, this is antique. So
yeah.
All my stuff is over 2,000 miles away. There's fires going on over there. There's hurricanes here. We were hit without electricity for a week, you know, using candles and flashlights and filling up the bathtubs with water, and still the debris and stuff left over is still out there. So there's a lot of, I mean, I was affected by Hurricane Katrina, and my house got hit. I was homeless. So I've experienced that before, lived out of my car. And that car is actually in California with all of my belongings. And I'm here.
Wow.
I mean, we drove to visit my mother in March and visit family. And then COVID hits that week. And we've just been here since. And so I needed structure. I mean, I was speaking with my therapist every week, and to create something normal for myself was to have some sort of structure or routine, since there's nothing familiar or like of my own around here. I mean, I have my belongings. At the end of the day, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. I have food, and that I have, I'm very grateful for my mother, and that she's allowed us to stay here or whatnot, and that we're able to have 2 different rooms, because he would be sleeping on the floor, I promise you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I remember you saying, screw the school, screw this, screw that. Don't let them stop you. And I remember when the school started that day, I felt so overwhelmed because of just circumstances of, whereas if you're going to have to deal with something on the Canvas portal or whatnot, you're going to have to deal with admissions. And those are the people who called me crazy, that sat there and told me, I didn't say that, the computer this, blah, 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 whatever. And I took what you said. You're like, don't let them stop you from pursuing your school, getting your degree or whatnot. And though I didn't continue going, I was like, I'm not going to let them stop me from creating structure that I need. So I'll create the structure out of nothing that I have. And that's when I came up with this project of, how are other people doing this? Because I'm not alone in this. This is an entire world going through a global pandemic. I am about to lose my mind, and I feel insane, but I'm not insane
at all.
I can talk to others and see how other people have been affected in their life, and then what are they doing to keep themselves focused. Maybe I can share that with other people, and not just me, but other people's stories. I don't care if it touched one person's life, like you said. It takes one person, and literally that's how I feel like this is. It's all the stories and all my friends that have been the outpour of love. I feel like I would have never have seen this side of my friends before if it wasn't for this project, and if it wasn't for you, like, hey, you're worth it and you need to be here. And it's crazy because I'm like, I'm speechless to say, like, when I needed help, when I asked for it, the people that came forward, I'm like, whoa. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy because I've never asked. I mean, if you don't ask, you won't know. So you just assume. And I'm telling you, when I talk to people, everyone's like, I think this is fantastic. I love the positivity. And I think this is great for people to have something like this during unsure times and just anytime, but everyone's going through it. And it was just such a great feeling. It was the first, I can't explain it. It just feels so it just feels authentic and real. And I'm so grateful, because I would never be in this position if it wasn't for you telling me, fuck them, go to school, forget about it. And the day that school started and the day that I was in class online and everything happened, I was like, yo, I can't do it. Freaking sign out of everything, cancel everything. And I'm like, well, like he said, you can't let anybody stop you. So I made a way. It's not in school, but I made a way and I did it. And that's,
yeah,
you know, like, and it took, you know, reassurance from my husband. Could have told me 20 million times. But the thing is just with COVID and all, you know, hearing it from him and being home and having my mom and him say it, you just need someone from the outside to just kind of reach in and be like, hey, it's just like a slap on the back sometimes. Like, you got it. You just need to get back up or something. Just kind of like fix your seat or whatnot.
exactly.
But what do you do to keep yourself focused during this time?
Oh, something that I do to keep, honestly, man, you know, I keep myself busy with work. So I've been writing a lot of songs. I've been spending more individual time with my kids, you know, because I have 5 kids. So I've been kind of like, instead of grouping everybody up, I've kind of been like, I'm hanging with just my one son today, my daughter, you know, and individual, seeing them as individuals and figuring them out and learning who they are, instead of like, hey, everybody, let's go as a family together and hang out. And that's been helping me a lot, because, you know, just seeing their personalities and how they're growing and how they've been coping with COVID as children, and how strong they are with losing their grandfather and my dad and both their granddads. It's like, it just gives me such a stronger respect for them, and makes me stronger as their dad, because I'm like, yo, these little motherfuckers can be
Resilient.
strong
Right.
and resilient and powerful. I have to be. I'm the leader. I'm the captain of the ship. I'm dad. So, you know, it's so basically my family's been the super biggest support, and music. So music and family's definitely, you know, saved my hurt and my, I would say, if I were to have a breakdown, music and my family saved me.
Well, I have to be honest. Music has saved me, and you have saved me, and I've met you through music. So you know, you're a blessing, and I thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much, Theron. I really do. And my prayers are with you and your family. And continue being positive. Continue being you. And I definitely I have so much love and respect for you. I really do. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So
No, thank you for having me, and be blessed. And yo, man, anytime you need me, I'm a call away.
oh, thank you. All right, you have a good one. All right.
Bless.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.